Tom, thank you a lot that you found the time to join the session. Actually, the idea of the session is just to write feedback about your experience working with us. So can you please tell me more about your product and your role in the company?
Okay, so I'm Tom Schecter. I am the Chief Product Officer of Much Smarter, which is an ed tech practice with an online learning platform designed to help students learn how to develop better habits of thinking, feeling, and learning, as well as learn the material put in front of them in order to make them fully prepared and fully confident to play larger games like standardized tests. Uh, Our general experience working with WTT has been very positive. I needed to bring in technical support at the beginning of 2022 to build a couple of small additions to the platform that we already had up and running. And the additions were delivered on time without mistakes and with high levels of quality control attached, so that when I needed to make a quick adjustment to something that I saw after the fact, they were able to quickly and easily fix the thing that I saw at the last minute needed to be fixed, and did so with very minimal confusion or difficulty, which is really overall a very positive experience.
Okay, thank you. For the company from the US, how simple is to start to work with company from Europe like our? So how simple, what US-based customer should know when they start to work with Europe-based company?
The most important thing that I can think of, besides the fact that I suppose most business across Europe is done at least partially in English, that doesn't necessarily mean, that doesn't translate every single time to the communication being locked in. Making sure that whomever it is that you're working with, you have a really strong understanding, a mutual understanding of what the goals are, a mutual understanding of what everybody's role is, and really a good personal connection, frankly, because there are going to be conversations that are going to be less comfortable, and you have to be able to make sure that everybody really does know that they are on the same team. Even in a vendor customer relationship, you want to make sure that everybody on both sides knows what the larger goal is and really understands how they're going to work together to achieve that goal. And that's something that Surge and WTT do very well.
Okay, yeah, thank you a lot. And how actually did you find us? And what is your company general process for finding the right supplier for your product? So possibly you did this before you found us, and generally maybe you can mention some platform or some ways how you as customers can find our company and company like ours.
Right. Well, this one was actually, I think you guys found us. If I remember correctly, you guys found us, and I think it was over LinkedIn. And
I hope so. Yeah,
yeah,
it was around maybe 2 years ago, and it was with LinkedIn. Yeah.
yeah. I generally don't trust any cold reach outs. This is one of the funnier moments about how you and I actually got started together. I really genuinely don't trust anybody who reaches out to me trying to sell me something. I was instantly hesitant, but because of the situation that we found ourselves in that moment, the scenario required me to be a little bit more flexible than usual, and I was very, very grateful after the fact that we wound up taking the meeting. Our original tech development team had to move on to other business through no fault of anybody's. It was just one of those things. The circumstances required them to move on to a different project, and we needed somebody to take over and make sure that the thing that was working very well already continued to work well, and if we needed to add small things here or there, they would continue to work. And it just so happened that at that moment, WTT and a few other companies all seemed to reach out almost at the exact same time. And of the conversations that we had after the fact, the conversation with WTT was by far the most valuable in terms of really strong communications, in terms of us feeling like we were listened to, and the thing that we really needed was understood. That was the most important part of what I took away from that in comparison to a couple of the other meetings that we took of a similar nature, where it was simply them explaining why they were the best and what they cost, and that was kind of the end of the conversation, and there was a complete miscommunication once or twice with other companies on what they were supposed to be recommending that we do. They had their own ideas, and they had their own thing that they wanted to sell us, and what we needed was not at all compatible to what they suggested that we needed. And for me, that was not the best way of doing business, but WTT's explanation of their process and the initial conversation where they really asked us what it is that we were trying to accomplish kind of reminded me a lot of my initial conversation with potential clients, asking them what it is that their students need from us. And it felt good. It felt like teamwork instead of just somebody rushing to try and grab a bigger piece of market share. And that was very important.
Thank you a lot. It's really great feedback for us.
Good.
So we will know how to work with our future customers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you
And
a lot.
what not to do. The what not to do is also important, like you guys do a really good job when you do your reaching out. And when you have your conversation, you do a really good job of understanding what it is that people actually are, what they're in the market for, what they're actually in need of, instead of coming in with your own ideas of it. You know how to deliver for us what we need, and that's something that I feel like should be taken for granted, but not everybody does it well.
Yeah. Good insight. Okay. What advantages do you see in working with us compared to US-based companies, or compare it to having employees or freelancers inside your team?
At the place where we are at presently, the flexibility is important. Being able to say we have this many hours worth of contract that we have to offer out, and instead of going with somebody full-time, especially in a place where we're kind of in a slight holding pattern scenario where we don't need anything very, very large built where we would require a full-time person or a full-time team, to be able to come to you and say, we just want to make sure somebody is looking out after our technical aspects and making sure that everything continues to work and it's in the way that it's supposed to work. And here is the number of hours we're able to do that. That flexibility is very helpful to us right now. That might not always be the right way, that might not be a permanent situation for us, but it certainly allows in the present moment for us to be able to do what we need to do and have some peace of mind. Be able to rest easy knowing that there is somebody very, very qualified and competent who has our backs in terms of the technical aspect of things, because I don't know what the hell the technical aspect of the thing does. I don't know how to code. I know quite a bit about how my program operates on the front end, but I could not build it myself, and I could not fix something if it broke. And I also understand how expensive in the US market certainly a full-time developer would be, and we are not in a place to do that right now. So we have the option of doing this really great middle ground. And again, it's with people that we trust. The trust comes, the trust is the first thing. I know that if I need to reach out to somebody, somebody's going to be able to quickly pick up the phone. I know exactly who it is I'm talking to. And it's a good team. Nice guys. They take care of business quickly. They explain what it is that they're doing or what it is that needs to be fixed in a scenario where we need to fix something. It goes very nicely.
Okay, thank you a lot. Are there any areas we could improve?
You know, for what I am looking for, this is exactly right. Incredibly satisfactory, and I am grateful to you guys, and I am hoping to continue the relationship. So if I can think of something that needs improvement, I'll shoot you an email about it later.
Okay, great. And last question for you today. Would you recommend us to your friends and why? So, and actually questions that I already asked you. So before starting operations, so what our customers should know, but maybe the best question will be what your friends should know about us before starting operation. Because one thing is to recommend something to partners and other things to friends that you see like each week. Yeah. So what your friends should know. So maybe some points that are important to prepare like work on customer and maybe to prepare some user stories. What is important before starting work for someone whom you recommend us?
I think what should they know about us from my point of view?
Yeah.
Honestly, the thing that sticks out most about you guys to me, especially from an American standpoint, where we have, I think, made it sometimes not the highest priority to take care of our own people. The thing that sticks out most to me was that in February of 2022, when it was clear that there was about to be a violent situation breaking out in Eastern Europe, you guys had a plan to take care of all of your people, a plan to evacuate them all, to make sure that they knew, to make sure that they had a place to stay, to make sure that they had a place to work, not just so that our operations would not be interrupted, but also so that your people would be safe and taken care of while things were going in a very dangerous direction. That struck me as somebody who knows how to take care of their own people is somebody that you want taking care of your things. That's the reliability that I'm talking about. That is, for me, absolutely the most important statement of character. And it's the first thing that I would say in terms of being able to trust somebody if you're going to recommend them to your friends. That would be the first thing that I told them.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you a lot. Thank you for the warm words and for this feedback.
That's my pleasure, sir.